I'm at the junkyard and I found what I'm looking for. It's on this old, it's a trailer for a pontoon boat, looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one off of here, or maybe try to unscrew it. It's got that on it. It's got to undo that and then try to knock it off, I guess. Just take the whole thing. But this is what I'm after here. I also got to get a mud flap, but there's plenty of vehicles around here. I should be able to find one, no problem. Just taking this mud flap off of this bus. It's got one more left to go. One more nut. My piece of lumber that is going to go across the boat, and it's a little bit shy, 63. And then this is going to be the actual mechanism the roller sits on, and it's 27. So you want the edge of your roller to stick out 27 inches. And that piece ended up coming off. That was at the junkyard. But what I got to do is I got to cut all these welds, so I just have this one single piece here. Here is I sistered two boards together so that my width ends up being 2 1/4. And it's 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 by what it is long. And that lumber I'm using is ash. So the one board, see, I just went across where the roller's going to sit. The large piece, just took a measurement. And it's just so that each edge of the board, or each tip of the board, comes right inside of these bumpers right here on each side. So it sits right there. And you want to stick out, you want your roller to stick out about 27 inches. Lumber for the roller complete at this point. And here's where my brake's going to be, is right here. And there are so many small, subtle things I did here to make this work out better. One thing is, okay, this is going to be the top. The whole board has a slight bow like this, and I've got these angled here. See, they're laying flat now, but they're slightly angled so that when it hinges on them, it'll kind of come up a little bit. And all that is because where the operator's standing in the boat, it's going to bring this, if everything was perfectly straight, it would bring it down and your line would go out towards the water as opposed to staying straight. So all these small subtleties will just help the line stay level on the roller. And also, once the hinge is on there, you can put, if you have a lot of weight back there, you know, it's just not sitting right, you can put stuff under there and then shut it. So it'll kind of give this a little bit more upward trajectory. Also went ahead and I routed the top sides of this. I, of course, didn't route there, so it's got more flushness, more contact area for the way it's going to sit. This is all routed. I did the edges too, not the bottom, because no point in that. I'm getting ready to take the two tools in my metal cutting arsenal to this. Well, actually, the vise is the most important. All right, so this thing, I just got to pretty much start cutting these welds, and I mean, it's quite a bit of cutting here. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this. I mean, this freaking piece right here, it's probably like a $200 piece. I mean, it's serious. It's a serious piece of hardware. It's probably like a $200 piece of hardware new, maybe even more. I mean, this stuff, it'll surprise you. I've been grinding and cutting on this thing for like 10-15 minutes now. Let's see if I did the trick. That's what I was after. All right, here's the piece and where it's gonna go. And here's the hardware that I got to rig everything up. 3 stainless sheet metal screws, 2 lags, these spikes, this piece of PVC. I'm getting ready to take this mud flap and cut it to size so that it'll fit. To cut the flap, the mud flap, I did it 10 by 10. I just put it in my jigsaw. Alright, so this is what I've got so far. Got the flap on, got all that connected, and I'm getting ready to drive these spikes with the PVC on it. 5-inch PVC. It's 8-inch spike in there. Now I'm just going to cut the bottom of the spike off. And I drilled that with into the metal with a step bit. And then I drilled it out just a little bit more, just a regular drill bit. Put a little bit of that into the holes. I put that in there just to make a better seal and so it'll hold better once I drive the spikes. And I put some of that, you know, around there and underneath this plate before I drove that lag. Alright, I've got it all together now, as you can see. Went in and put some washers right there to hold the flap on better. Getting ready to put this hinge on here. I have that part clamped. And I've got this end up a little bit. Just slightly elevated. So that when I put the hinge on, it'll keep that natural curve that I was talking about earlier. Now I've got the hinge on. I just got it kind of sitting on here. I'm getting ready to go ahead and put it on the boat. Alright, now she's all done and installed. I still have to go through and do some cosmetic stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and paint everything just so it looks nice and pretty. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I got 2 screws, one on each side, and you can see how that is right there. You can close her on up. She can just sit just like that. You still put your seat back. And she's nice and tough. Nothing to worry about. Nice and simple. Boom, done. Ready to crab. Done crabbing. Boom, done. Ready to go in. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.